It seems like there's always a just because. I kind of got this looking at the whole Sukiana and YK Osiris incident. And when I looked at the comments on a lot of pages talking about this incident, I saw a lot of just because, like the phrase just because. It's like when people do things that creates a consequence that they deem as higher than the action that caused the consequence, then they use just because. Just because she did this don't mean she deserved that. Just because they did this doesn't mean that they should have gotten that. And it's like, the question to me is, why is there a just because to begin with?
My man talking.
Because just because is generally associated with an action. And that action sometimes, a lot of times, is a negative one or just unnecessary. So people throw out just because to counter the justification of a consequence, or we use just because to try to measure what we think a consequence should be. Just because they cursed them out don't mean they should have got punched. Just because that person punched them don't mean they should have got shot. Just because this don't mean that. And people have this thought that they should be able to control consequences. And I always tell people the only thing you control is your actions. You don't control the reaction or whatever comes back around that went around. And it's like we use just because as the phrase to turn the suspect into the victim. And really it's all just in the context of cause and effect. One thing happened, so another thing happened. And it's like just because is used as a defense. Like you become the defense attorney and the prosecutor is consequence. The prosecutor is you reap what you sow. The prosecutor is what goes around comes around. You know, there's a lot of things that we learned in school that we really didn't need to learn. But in science class, you learned that every action has a reaction. And Sukiana's case was just an example that sometimes you don't know the full consequence and ramifications of what you do until something happens to you. And most people learn too late. Most people don't learn until they become an example or become a statistic. And regardless of what you believe in, if you don't learn your lesson, you will become an example. That's just how life works. But that's all I have. Tell me what y'all think, man. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.